folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys, and it goes a massive way to help the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 55 of Imperium magazine, and it is another terrain issue, and this one we get some thermic plasma conduits. So pretty decent. We've had these before, in all honesty, and they are pretty good little things. So very good for kind of scatter terrain, type things, and for also utilising as cover as well in games, as well as using certain things like the main control point and stuff like that as a command area as well. So you can utilise that as a control point in your games. Entirely up to you how you want to utilise it though, and exactly the same as being entirely up to you how you want to paint it. But have a bit of fun with it, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it no matter what. Into the issue itself, though, of course, we're greeted by one of the other theatres of war. So this is the Alexia battle zone, powering the defence. So Alexia is predominantly a place of worship and pilgrimage, yet is also heavily defended. The Basilica of St. Marcius bristles with last batteries, missile racks and other defences. To power these weapon systems requires a power network with great reach and incredible capacity. So then we kind of get the general regular kind of nondescript artwork where it shows a Ministorum building, one of the manufactorums, has the Cog Mechanicus on the front. You can also see some of the plasma conduits kind of coming down, and you can also see a plasma reactor in the background as well. So on the other page we also get to do the background work for it as well, so in the battle record. So you can do its power designation, you can also give it its Genitorium network name, and you can also give the different battle sectors as well, and who wins in each battle sector as well. So really cool stuff, entirely up to you how you want to go about using it, but quite fun at exactly the same time. So utilise it how you will if you want to in your battles. You don't have to. If you do want to use it though, and you don't want to kind of write all over the page, photocopy it, in all honesty. Give it a bit of a photocopying. If you're using it for your just own regular use, it's not going to be a problem, I don't think. So you should be fine. Then we move on, we get one of the other chapters of Space Marines, which is the Iron Hands. These are the Sons of Ferrus Manus. So the Iron Hands are amongst the Imperium's most relentless defenders. They seek to emulate the cold, emotionless logic of the machine, willingly trading away their flesh for superior augmenting enhancements. So, the Primarch of the Iron Hands was Ferrus Manus, a master artisan and mighty warrior. Manus was slain leading a vengeful assault against the traitorous forces of War Master Horus. Ever since that day, the Iron Hands have pointed to the Primarch's emotional weakness as the reason for his death, and have resolved never to repeat his failures again. They blame Ferrus Manus' failure on his fallible mortal mind and body, and have resolved to replace as much of their own physiology with augmetic replacements, exercising this weakness from their own forms. So, as you can tell, the Iron Hands are very much like the Adeptus Mechanicus in a way. So, very closely linked, having a bit of a kind of a respect for the machines, and kind of treating the machines as being far superior to kind of human bodies, which generally isn't kind of really the way. So we also get some information about some of the other main characters, well, one of the main characters from within the Iron Hands chapter, which is Iron Father Malakan Furios, so who is one of the eldest of the Iron Hands captains. Known as Iron Fathers, he has served on the Iron Council, the ruling body of the Iron Hands, for many centuries, but he is seen as somewhat of a maverick by his kin, for he clings on to his emotions and refuses augmetics for fear of being transformed into a creature of pure logic, which makes a bit more sense really. And they do have that kind of the flesh is weak kind of being their main belief as well, so they do have a lot of similarities to the Adeptus Mechanicus in their ways. So then we get information about one of the other parts of the Adeptus Sororitas, the Ecoseric. Said that very wrong there, and I'm not going to try and pronounce it again. So, whilst the Adeptus Sororitas are the only officially standing army of the Imperial Creed, The Crusades and Holy Wars attract throngs of willing combatants to their side. Armoured crusaders, pious priests, missionaries, and penitent throngs of followers all fight in defence of the faith. So, though the decree passive prohibits the Ecclesiarch from maintaining the vast standing armies that once fought wars on their behalf, it does not prevent individual priests and other members of the clergy from assembling their own retinues of battle-hardened holy warriors, and these soldiers may be few in number, but they are dedicated to the imperial faith and are all deadly combatants. So, obviously, the Adeptus Sororitas being the main kind of fighting force of the kind of the Imperial Creed itself, the religious sect. They do have missionaries and preachers who were members of the clergy accompany Adeptus Ministorum forces. Missionaries are roving preachers committed to bringing the Emperor's light to war zones across the galaxy and inspiring their allies by chanting sacred prayers. There are the Death Cult assassins who are pretty damn cool. They look awesome, in all honesty. A lot of their models do. So many of the Imperium's worlds play host to strange cults who worship through bloodshed rather than prayer. Some of these warriors are loyal to the Emperor, slaying his enemies and offering them as sacrifices, as well as fighting alongside the armies as well. Death Cult assassins are often utilised by the Inquisition, for they are expert infiltrators and executioners. And then there are the Crusaders as well, so generally kind of like historical Crusaders. So these are pious warriors who serve as bodyguards for priests and other officials as they take to the battlefield. They are often drawn from noble families, bringing with them into war priceless heirlooms and armour and warded tower shields capable of turning aside bullets and sorcery alike. So obviously they're very, very pious, and it's a very religious heavy kind of sect really there in that kind of forces as well. So you can get some of these models and they are pretty damn cool, and you can utilise them with your Adeptus Sororitas, which is actually pretty decent as well, so not bad. Then we move on, we got our how to build guide. Very, very simple, in all honesty. It's exactly the same how to build guide as what we've had for the previous set, so you're not going to go wrong with it. Just very, very easy. Just make sure you're trimming off what you need to trim off, and you'll be absolutely fine, I'm sure of it. But yeah, dead easy, dead simple. You can utilise how you want the different parts to it. If you want to have that curved butter pipe, you can change it. You can put it on a different bit. In all honesty, I might change it onto a different part so it looks slightly different. So then I don't have just one full set of exactly the same looking bits and pieces. So it looks a bit different, and you can change it up. Entirely up to you though. But yeah, pretty handy, pretty good bit of kit really. Then you got your how to paint guide. You can follow this, or you can paint it the same way as you painted the last one. I went for a kind of like different kind of colouring. So if I grab one here, I went for, instead of it just being silver, it's kind of like that kind of Balthazar gold on there as well, and then Norn oil to kind of dirty it up a bit, and I think it looks alright. It does exactly the job that I need it to do, which is to look like a metal tube, because it does look like a metal tube, so works just as well. But entirely up to you how, if you want to go about doing it. You can do it this way, of course, but you just do not have to. It's entirely up to you. There are a few other little bits and pieces that have added to it, so using things like Troll Slayer Orange on certain bits of kind of cabling, which I must admit I didn't do, but yeah, it works very, very well, works out very, very handily. But yeah, you can have a bit of fun with it, you can enjoy it, you can get going with it, you can dirty it up, and when you're done with it, it will look pretty decent, in all honesty. Even if you're following the guide, it's going to look pretty decent. There will be a few more bits to do, so things like the actual kind of ridges along the actual conduits themselves and the vents, and it'll look spot on really. Then we get more kind of advanced rules for the Adeptus Mechanicus. So this is the stratagems for the Adeptus Mechanicus. So they of course have machine superiority, elimination volley, data blessed auto sermon, which is really, really weird to say, and a galvanic volley fire, all utilising your command points as per usual. And yeah, entirely up to you. If you're going for Adeptus Mechanicus, this could be right up your street, so pretty handy to have. And then we move on to this week's battle. So this week's battle does actually kind of have a couple of extra bits. So we have some secondary objectives, which is Slay the Warlord, so which is end game objective as well. So you get 6 victory points at the end of a battle if the enemy warlord is destroyed, which is pretty damn cool. And there are also for battlefield supremacy and shadow operations as well. So raising the banners as being the shadow operation there. And you also get information about raising the banners as well, being the kind of goal for it. Yeah, really cool, and how to utilize that as well, so in getting your extra points as well. So really cool stuff. Then we move on to the actual battle itself. So with this battle, you are going to be utilizing 1 Necron Overlord, 1 Plasmancer, 10 Necron Warriors, a second set of 10 Necron Warriors, your 5 Immortals, 3 Canoptech Scarab Swarms, 2 Crypto Thralls, and 1 Canoptech Reanimator, going up against the Imperium forces of Canoness, 10 Battle Sisters, 5 Seraphim, 1 Tech Priest Dominus, 1 Tech Priest Engine Seer, 10 Skitarii Rangers, and your 3 Cataphron Destroyers. Pretty damn cool. And it's a pretty decent battery as well, so you're using 2 battle mats, using pretty much all your terrain that you've got so far, so all 4 buildings and your all your thermic plasma conduits pushed together in different places, and the reactor as well. So a lot of stuff to it, pretty cool, and it's not a bad one. It's a pretty decent battle from the looks of it as well, so pretty good fun. So enjoy it, have a bit of fun with it, and yeah, if you don't win, play again. And with that said, we move on to what's coming next week. So next week, issue 56 is a paint issue. It's going to be a little bit dull. We find out some more information about the Officio Assassinorium, which is really hard to say, which is the Assassins. We also get 2 new paints, Administratum Grey and Ballard Brown, and this will all be about painting highlights as well, so in the painting guide for it, which aren't too bad. Then issue 57, we get a second Necron Tombblade. We also find out more information about the Living Saint, Saint Celestine, and we also get more information about one of the new Warzone, Alexia, as well. So really cool stuff. A lot of stuff to look forward to with the magazine as well. So if you haven't checked out what we're getting between issues 59 and 62, check that video out now. The link's at the top and it's at the end of the video. And yeah, with that said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye now.